portfolio, and we're also going to look at how to upload it to Behance if this is what you guys want to do, where to get some inspiration for your portfolio, how to do it a little bit different than other people, and then what do you need to create for your portfolio. So we're going to start also with talking to you guys and asking you, like, introduce yourself and just tell us about what are you looking for, because each one of us is going to do something different in their portfolio. Some of us are coming for marketing, some from communication, some going to do some artistic stuff in their portfolio. Everything is kind of like, they call it portfolio nowadays. It's almost like, I would call it an extended resume. How do you want to go and make sure that somebody else picks you from so many other people when you're going to get a job? And then the thing is, I'm going to tell you some, like, maybe real life stories, but I was just talking to a friend of mine that another friend of her just finished medical school, and for the last 2 years she's trying to get a residency somewhere, and she doesn't even get an interview. Her grades are wonderful, but she doesn't get it. So why is that? Maybe what she's sending to them, maybe the way she describes herself, maybe little additional things that she's had there are not working for her. So when we're going and looking at a portfolio, we're looking at a bunch of stuff. We're looking at you as how do you present yourself. You're going to need maybe references for some people, and the references has to be kind of like not very long but special, because you don't want somebody to write, oh, she was so good and she's wonderful. Something that makes and describe you different than other people. So we're gonna just start with you. We're gonna walk around and just tell us a little bit what you do. Don't be shy. You can do it out loud. We're all girls here, yay! So we can have a good time. Guys don't want to do portfolio. We don't need that. Yes.
Hi, my name is Leah, and I'm mostly interested in having a comprehensive portfolio, which has all the tags, like writings I've done, multimedia projects, and also drawings. And just want to know how we can organize and showcase.
Yeah. Great. Yes.
My name is Samantha Pito, and I'm majoring in public relations. So I'm looking to get a portfolio that kind of shows who I am, my resume, and as well as like some of the writing works that I've done.
Okay. Cool.
My name is Christine Farkas. I'm a public relations major, and I'm also taking your Adobe
Illustrator class.
So I would like to showcase my writing samples as well as some graphic design samples. And I have a personal website that I would like to add this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great.
Hi, my name is Marissa. I'm graduating in May, so I
Yay.
would like something that encompasses the work that I've done here and at my previous internships. So.
Cool. Great. Yes.
Hi, I'm Haley. I'm also a PR major. I'm also graduating in May, so I'm looking to upload especially a lot of my graphic design stuff that I've done, both for like classes and internships. And then I also have my degree in product development from FITM. So I'm trying to figure out a way how to either incorporate the two into one portfolio, or if I need to have separate ones. I don't know. So.
Yes. Definitely. Yes. Great. Yes.
Hi, my name is Ashna. I'm a prom major, and I just never made a portfolio before. It's not much fun. I just wanted that idea.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Effie. I'm a comm major. I already have like a website that have like most of like my content creation, do a lot of like multimedia work, so like photos, videos, or the podcast. But I'm looking for something more succinct than like a huge website that's like kind of that hard to navigate through. So something like simpler and more direct way. I'll showcase.
Yes. Yeah. You.
My name is Zoe. I'm majoring in film management. I'm a senior grad student, so I'm going to graduate in May. And so portfolio for me, I want to use that to fully present myself, and also because I think most of my projects are writing, and also papers,
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
My name is Courtney. I'm a sociology major, so I'm in Dornside. And I'm graduating in May as well. And I feel like a lot of people in sociology like don't really care about like portfolio and like resume and stuff and making it look very I guess modern or like with graphics and stuff. And also just like presenting like if I'm doing like policy work or like things like that, like I want to present it in like a way that'll be noticeable and not just like plain and boring.
Yes. Yes. What to do and what to do. Great. So the thing is, like a lot of you guys kind of said the same idea. Like you need a resume. First of all, next week there is a 2 days resume workshop. You definitely want to attend that because we're not doing this now. We're just looking at the visual stuff here. But then in this, yes.
I'm sorry, I signed up for one of the resumes, so do we have to attend both?
No, it's the same, I think,
Okay.
because they had too many people who wanted to do it. So I think they did 2 of them, because this is kind of like something that everybody. I might even show up for it just for fun, just because they're gonna show you like tips and tricks, how to do your resume, how you to present it. There's a lot of places online that you're looking at resumes and they give you suggestion. They tell you gonna do. The way I look at it, where I'm coming from, I would like to see a 1 page, and the page has to be nice, clean, and maybe with like a nice little logo, and then your name and the things that you do, and then just very, very clear, not the history of your entire life, because people don't really read that way. But I highly recommend to attend this workshop. I think toward the end of the semester we might also have it like we did last year. Don't take me on it, but we might just do headshots here again like we did last year, so you might even get your headshots and then learn how to retouch it and things like this. But what I'm looking at, and you see I have Photoshop open here and I have some files that I prepared for you, and let's just talk about, like, let's say you want a website which could be part of your portfolio. You want to also maybe upload your stuff to Behance, which I'm going to show you where it is, and then tell you a little bit what Behance is doing, because you almost can do, if you have Creative Cloud, you can do your miniature website directly on Behance and not spend so much money on another web host and things like this. Another thing, you can accumulate your portfolio also in Spark page, and I'll show you like a demo on that in a minute, or even go in into Spark Video, because you can combine some videos in it as you want. So there's a lot of options for you to go to. But one of the things that some people, even if they start working, is what are you going to do with your material before even building the portfolio and uploading it. And this is what we want to do a little bit here. Jump in maybe into Illustrator for a minute, or maybe into Photoshop for a minute, and maybe create something very simple that you're going to be able to kind of represent and do that. And then, so let's say we're going to take, I have like a sample file for you. You don't have to look if it is like perfect or not. And then I'm going to show you how to create it. And then like you need to know a little bit to accommodate or take all your file and let's say to mask it and put it all together. So we're going to go step by step with these, and then we're going to look at Behance. How many people are on Behance already? How many people don't know anything about Behance? Okay, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that, because you don't even know it's like inside your home for free for now. So, and this is a place, and people ask me, why won't you do a website instead of doing Behance, because a lot of you have a website. I have a website, nobody is looking at it at all because I did it the wrong way years ago. I have to fix it. I didn't do it with the right search engine optimization, so it's like nobody sees it. It's like, maybe if I tell people to see it or they Google my name. The good news about Behance is when you go in there, you basically, people that are looking for other people and other talent are looking for you there. So that's one place to put part of the portfolio. The another place is basically, and that's another class even, put a link to your portfolio, guess where? In LinkedIn. And I'm sure they're going to bring somebody from LinkedIn to show you how to do the better profile that you're making in LinkedIn about yourself and all the links, the better, more people are going to look at it. It's like every time I start a new job or something completely new, I update my profile on LinkedIn, and all of a sudden a lot of people searching for me without me searching for them. So that's another thing. I'm just going to jump later a little bit just to show you a few things that I posted there just to make the idea going. So the first thing I want to go in, I'm just going to go in and show you a few things on Behance. So this is Creative Cloud. Hopefully we're not going to have a problem over here. And this is the apps and then the assets, and you can go in and discover, and this inside the discover you can see I have my discover and I have my, I'm gonna look at mine. I didn't update mine, so don't judge me if it's not great or not. We're gonna use maybe my sign in right now, but it's very easy to go in and sign in right away. Before, I'm just gonna go to my portfolio. I'm just gonna go into, let's say, just type Behance.net, and if we go in into Behance.net, it jumped directly to mine because I'm logged into it. But if you're not logged into it, the first thing that's going to ask you, would you like to do your profile? And then when you go in and start to do your profile, you're going to have to put just your Adobe ID, some information about you. We don't need to do it right now to make the Behance that, but I'm just going to show you what's going on in here. So let's say it's mine and I didn't visit it for a long time. I even can see that somebody tagged me for something, and if I'm going to look, something mentioned and appreciated my artwork. Some of the people I know and some people I don't even know. So how did I get to it? One of the main tricks of Behance, and I can tell you I'm not doing so great lately because I'm too busy, is to go and search all the time. So once you start searching on a daily basis on Behance and even clicking a like, you don't have to like it, but say, oh, I like your work, I like your work. Behance starts looking for you. And you're creating kind of a turmoil about your name, and then people start looking at you. Then somebody even sent me a message and then thanked me for me like doing something and then appreciating him. But what I have here is you create your Behance ID. And then they're going to ask you to start creating your profile here. So let's say here, this is my Behance profile. So if I'm going to go into the profile, I wrote some stuff about me. I definitely have to go in now. I just got a new job that I'm doing, and it's really an important job, and I think I should go in and edit my profile. I didn't do it yet, but I might do it. And then over here you can see the people that appreciated me, the people I'm following, and then also a link to my website. Then if I want to, I'm going to go and edit it. I'm not going to edit it right now. But now another thing that you can have here is basically, look at that. First of all, you have a thing for jobs here. So you can go back here, and the jobs are from all over the place, and you can go in here and go filter it in so many ways, and you can go in and see what's going on. You want to be an animator and a storyteller, you want to be a senior visual designer, you want to be a design director, depending where it is, and then you can go and put the countries you're in, and then you can say I want to be remote and all kind of stuff. So that's another thing that Behance tells you. But we don't even, let's say, have a portfolio. So we're still at school, we're looking. By the way, they do a lot of internship too, and doing the ACA exam really helps, even though maybe you don't know more than others, let's say Illustrator, once you start having this little thing on your resume, people look at you like, oh, there's an award, because there's a place here for award and certification and all kind of stuff like that. The more things that you're going to have, the better you things that you're going to do. There's also a place for evaluation and recommendation and things like this. But let's look at that, and I'm just going to go in and go into Discover. So look what I have here, and this is something that it's fascinating. First of all, you have a place, the best of Behance. So if I want to look at stuff that the best people that featured here in Behance, and then depending what you're doing, photography, graphic design, illustration, UI and UX, and motion. So somebody said that they are in multimedia. So when you're creating your profile, they're going to ask you what are you interested in. So you can just do multimedia, you can do sociology, you can do anthropology, you can go and put in marketing, public relation, all kind of stuff like this. And also it's recommended maybe put graphics. Photography, it's kind of tough lately because everybody thinks they're a photographer, and there's so many amazing photographers. It's a good thing none of you are studying photography here. But you can see here that you're here. Like, let's say I'm looking at that. This is like brand design. And then you can go back here and they're going to show you some sample of their brand design. And then they're talking a little bit about what they're doing, how they're creating the brand design. They are going to go and look at different things and colors. And you see here, they kind of created like a bag with their brand, and maybe the shoes with their brand, and then maybe put it inside other stuff. And you see here, this is the brand of this company. And it's funny because I have some samples that kind of look like this for us to work with. But you see, they're kind of presenting it something like that. So you already can go in and present the stuff and also talk about the way you work. So the way you do it here, you are going to upload some stuff, and then people can start looking. You see, these are templates basically. And then they did over here, let's say something in Photoshop, and then they did another one in another, and then you can see here different kind of templates to work with the stuff. So if you're any kind of designer, you want to show your writing, it's going to be hard to just show writing, but maybe you do a mock-up of your writing inside a beautiful page, and they'll do a link to your writing somewhere else. Does that make sense? So something like that. I can also go back to this area here, and let's say I just went here to this one. I'm going to go back, I'm going to go back to Behance, and then we can go into another way. I just went in just to the Discover, but I can go into other place completely. I can go into different kind of stuff. Let's say creative tools, school and organization. So over here you can see different kind of schools that have their own portfolios over here. So you can see they have FIT, they have AIGA gallery, they have Cooper Hewitt, you have a student show on Behance, they have the Art Institute, they have FIDM. See, if you went to FIDM, here the portfolio gallery of FIDM over here, and this you're going to see stuff that student in FIDM went in and just did all the stuff with their galleries, and then went in and put it like this. And then you can go back to a career center, a login portal, and also other request information about it. So you can see here that you can have different kind of places just to create and other stuff. But let's say I'm just going to go back here and let's search for a subject. Let's say I'm going to say public relations. And it's nice if you know how to type. Okay. And then you can see that, and look at this. So these are stuff, people that work probably in public relation. And then over here you can see some of their portfolio. and you can see some of the mock-up of the things that they're doing. Not necessarily you are the one that you're going to do all the art all the time, but maybe you are going to be the person that's going to be hired to create the visual identity. You're going to be the one who hired to talk about the new product. You're going to be the one who hired to write about the product. So your job is a little harder than just a visual artist. Because let's say if just a painter, it's very simple. Because they're going to put their painting there and nobody's going to talk, and then that's it. You have a multi-thing, which is in the other way, it's very interesting. It's something more kind of like robust because you can do this and you can do that. What is public relation? Public relation could be anything. As long as you know how to write and as long as you know how to talk to people about the product, you can go over here. And you can see here, so they have something about type and logo. They have something about here about other stuff that they are working with. And then they have some samples about other stuff, like they are promoting some other things within the public relation that they are doing. So you can see different kind of ways. Let's say here, that's interesting. That's a restaurant. And that's something that a lot of you might be hired just to, promote a restaurant. So what do you need to know when you promote a restaurant? You need to know about the target market of the restaurant, of course. Who's going to come to the restaurant? Who are the people who are going to eat there? Is it people that in a certain diet? Are they older people? Are they young people? Is the restaurant has a bar, not a bar, all kind of stuff like that. And then maybe you're going to need to create some portfolio pieces for yourself to show the restaurant that you are promoting. So you see here, these are just beautiful images. So you might need to hire a photographer, or you might need to do the photograph by yourself and then to put the stuff in and then write on the stuff here. So that kind of like a restaurant, an introduction about it, the agenda, in the art director master, like the briefing of the project and things like this. So you can see you can write stuff here, but also accommodate it with beautiful stuff. This is not that I want to promote Behance all the time, but I highly recommend to you to really go in and look at Behance in depth for few things. One thing, create your profile, and I'll show you a little demonstration about that in a minute. The other thing that you want to really do is put your portfolio on Behance, and then put inside the stuff that you are doing, because if tomorrow I am going to go in and do some public relation, the first thing I'm looking at Behance, because this is the most creative pool of artists in all the fields that you have. And then take this link from Behance and put that inside your LinkedIn. So let's say if I'm going to go back here, and like I said before, Behance has another thing too that I didn't mention. But if I'm going back to my Behance, you have your profile, you have discovery, you can go into your project, but also what you have in Behance, which I didn't really finish doing, you can create your own portfolio already on Behance as a website, as a standalone website. So that's another thing here, and you can see you can go back into the web, and then you can go into the work experience, you can do some references, and you can go in and put some stuff. So my portfolio has a lot of my fine art and then all kind of stuff like that. And then you can go in, and this one I didn't fix yet, so I'm going to apologize, but you see here it says view Adobe Portfolio. After doing your little thing in Behance itself, you can go in and create something called Adobe Portfolio. So if I'm going to click on that, I didn't finish mine, and then I called it chanamesser.myportfolio.com, but you can actually take the URL that you bought or something or purchased and then change that and customize it to yourself. And then, like I said before, I didn't fix it yet, but you can see here I have a welcome. So I can go into the welcome, and you see my welcome has nothing there yet. Then I have my little company that says Mackinac, and I start writing a little bit about myself. What do I do in Mackinac? I'm a certified instructor, and then maybe I'm going to put some more stuff here in the future, or maybe even a better picture, right? Then I'm just going in and I divided it. So I put here like my Twitter, my regular Behance, my LinkedIn, my Facebook, and maybe my Instagram. And then I have here something that I want to do. I didn't finish it yet either, but this is some of my mobile art. What I need actually to polish here, to tell them why do I do mobile art, how do I do the mobile art. I have to like work and do some more stuff. Then I have some of my fine art over here, and each one has different kind of things. So this one's gonna go to acrylic on paper, and you can see here I have kind of like my art. But what am I lacking here? I didn't write anything yet. What's there? And people looking at it like, what the heck is that? Like I said to myself, I didn't finish it yet. And then I divided it, and here I want to go in and put some other project and then talk about each project and what did I do. So I started working here on a project, and this project was called the Hollywood 10, and it was a show, and that's the showpiece that I did for the show. And then I have the other one over here, and then I'm probably gonna need to talk more about it, right? Because there was a reason that I did that, the reason how did I do it, and things like this. So this is what you do here in the Adobe Portfolio, and then you can make yourself your own URL. So why is it kind of like, for me it's more important than my regular website? Because people look at it. So the more stuff you're doing, the more stuff you're gonna go in and look for. So if I'm going back to my Behance, and I'm going to go in again, and I'm gonna go in and Behance, I'm just gonna go in, and then I'm gonna look at something. Okay, and then this is something that I wanted to go in and look, but maybe that's not the right writing that I have here. But I want to look at somebody, don't know how she writes her name. It's a friend of mine. Can you believe that? No, it doesn't have the right. Let me just go back here because I wanted to see like some of the feature of the stuff that I have and other people that created some stuff. You can see here, like you can also go, these are the fields, by the way, that you can work in when you play. So you see here, creative field, animation, architecture, art direction, calligraphy, cartooning, interactive design. You're gonna have branding. Branding can go into public relation too, and all this stuff here. So you can see these are the field that you can go in: visual effect, visual art, and all kind of stuff like that. Does that make sense? So I'm gonna go in, like over here you have the creative tools, the people that using the tools that you have, and they're telling you what are they made with. So you have the galleries just with Photoshop, you have galleries just with Lightroom, you have here a gallery, and over here everything was done here was just with Illustrator. So you can see here some galleries that things were done in Illustrator, and it's really cool. Why is it so cool? Because it's also cool for inspiration. If you don't know what to design and how to design some stuff, look what you have here. I'm trying to see if I'm gonna see my friend over here, and then if I remember how they spell their name, that would be great. But you can see the stuff that I have. So of course they tell you to download. You can go and follow the gallery and do all kind of stuff like this. So now I'm gonna go to another place, and then we can go back to it because I have a little presentation for you in Spark, but it is on Adobe on Behance. And I'm just gonna go in and look at my area here, and then you see these are my projects that I have here, and I did a lot of projects with Behance. And now I'm just gonna go to see my project for a minute. And then the project's going to have a link to it. And then I can show you a little bit later, if you want to use Spark, how easy it is to use. We're going to mock it up probably in 5 minutes. It's so easy. that even kids can use that. So look at that. I have some projects here, but I want to do some of the project are artistic project, and some of them are like fun. And I'll show you in a minute this one. Like look at this one. This one is my artwork. I did it on my portfolio too, and I put some of it in Behance. I also wanted to change a link to a lot of galleries to ask them if they would like to see my portfolio. And over here I did it, and I can send a link to everybody, and this is my artwork. So you can see here I have that, and I wrote something about it. And then I wrote the sizes. I didn't want to do the prices, how much, on purpose in this case, because I didn't want it to be like a link for purchasing. And then you can see I'm talking about my artwork. I'm talking about other stuff. This is my artwork over here, and I put them all together here. In the end of the day, after they're looking at it, and look at this, it's kind of looking professional, almost like I did it in HTML5, but I didn't, because I have no idea about anything about it. And then toward the end, I can go in and create a link, and in the link is everything about me. Follow me on Twitter, going to Instagram, everything about me, and of course there is a link to directly to Behance. Yes.
So what's the difference between these two? Like similar shapes?
They're different. Okay, in Behance you just put it in there and then send the link of the place of your Behance, and that's there, and then hope the people are looking at. This is more like private. So let's say within your project that you guys have, all of a sudden you decided that you're curating as a public relation art a show. So you're making something a little smaller, and then you create a presentation maybe on Spark, and then send a link to your client and say, by the way, I'm on Behance too. You can see my other project, but this is what I'm doing now. And then how do you share it? You can go back here, and you can see you copy a link. You can embed it within a website as well. You can send it just as an email to a client. You can go to Twitter, you can go in Facebook and all the areas, and then you republish the link if you want. Does that make sense? So we're going to take a look at this one as well in a minute. What else do I have there? And what I do a lot of time when I look at my project, and this is like another project, I didn't do public relation to it, but it was kind of, I'm acting as a social media public relation person. My girlfriend decided to open a tiny little restaurant at her house, but she calls it Ailes Table. Basically, she doesn't want to open a restaurant, but what she really wants to do is people come in and experience the way she cooks and do the stuff, and then they pay, of course, money for the meal after that, but it's more like an experience. And let's say you're alone and you don't want to go to a restaurant alone, you come and you're going to meet like 20 new people there and eat together. So in the beginning, she wanted a website. Nobody looked at it because she didn't have the money to hire somebody to do the real thing. So I told her to go to two things, Instagram and Spark in this case. And soon we're probably gonna take the picture and put it in Behance, but that's not so much the artistic, right? So I went in and made for her a page on Spark. And I start sending it to a lot of people that I know. And then I also open an Instagram page for her. And then soon we're going to do maybe other stuff. But you see, this is a pop-up restaurant. And you can see like the story about herself. We're going to get hungry now. I know. Yeah. It is amazing food. And then some things about herself. Inviting people to her adventure. And then nice pictures about her food. So basically she's telling everybody about her experience of the food. Okay, I'm just not, and then go back here. And then she tells everybody when she's starting, the money, and then of course she has a link to PayPal over here, and then Instagram, and then Twitter, and then basically over here. So that's another way for you to do it. The good news about that, it takes 10 minutes. I'm not kidding. The Behance takes more work, because you have to go through your portfolio first and see which element you want to bring in. Then you're going to do the Adobe Portfolio and then bring the stuff and write the stuff. This one I feel like no commitment, right? but I have kind of like a preview, and I can go in and play with it and do the stuff here. So you can see the stuff. And then what I do lately with it, I'm going to do a lot of things. Like, let's say sometime I kind of want to talk about, let's say I did painting in Photoshop a few months ago here, and I just ended up doing a Behance, like Spark with painting in Photoshop. And then you can see here I have all kind of link to all kind of stuff. I'm looking for my, this one is my Behance. So I had to do a talk for somebody about Behance, and actually nobody had an Adobe ID yet. So what they did is, and I'm just going to do the preview, I told everybody, go find your Adobe ID first. We all signed in, and then I did a mock-up Adobe ID for me, something completely different, and we start publishing together. So basically you can see here in the beginning, in Spark, I did kind of a demo to show how it looks. And here, the reason why do you want to go in, and I can send you guys the link if you want. I can ask Erica to send the link for you guys. So you can see as a designer, why do I want to do it, and what are you going to learn how to do the inspiration. And I actually used my profile to give them the inspiration. Why did I do that? Because I didn't want to use some other people's profile. And then I did that and discover it, and where the place that you have, showing how to do the profile, showing the galleries that you have, showing the artwork, showing the other activities that you want to go, and important things to remember. And in the important thing for remember, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. The first thing is you cover. What do you want to do first when you do that? A good cover image. Something that somebody see it and I'm not going to say, nah, I don't want to look at it. Very important to have a good cover image that will draw the attention of the viewer, a curator, a potential client, and maybe a potential employer. If they don't like what you do right away, they're not going to look at you. It's almost doing a bad script to somebody. Once you don't like it, they don't like it. Then, where did you get the inspiration from? So you want to tell them a little story about yourself and try to be a little bit different. Just tell them, maybe your background is very interesting. Maybe your childhood is very interesting. Maybe your interest is more interesting than others because you're doing public relations or communication, but you also love fine art. You also love jogging. And when you jog around Los Angeles, you see stuff. I'm just making it up, but things that you like. Like me, I take myself as like an educator, a fine artist, an Adobe crazed person. But one of the things that I do a lot, I have a small catering company also. So I love food, and you can tell, and all kind of stuff like that. But also I'm crazy about movies. And I go a lot to movies, to all the movies that happen. So I always mention it in some way, somewhere, that I love to get my inspiration from stories and movies and art shows. So people know that I'm not just like this. Maybe I can see. So tomorrow there's a project that I'm not so good at it yet. Maybe I'll be able to do it. So you always want to open another way and tell your employer and other people, I can do that. I can do that even if I didn't learn or I want to learn. Does that make sense? So that's important. Always show your process, like tell your story, but also experiment and do that, and also know your audience. What are you looking for? Where do you want to work? Who do you want to work with? Are you going to work with young audience, with old audience? Are you want to work with kindergartners? Are you want to work in the movie industry? Where are you guys going to do, and what are you going to work with? That's very important too. So make sure also to brand yourself. So again, like next week you might do a nice portfolio. A week ago we did a class here about creating your own icons in Illustrator. It's almost like making your own maybe logo, and then something that looks like you find your colors that you like. Be kind of true for yourself, and then go in and of course promote it. But then the things that you don't want to do, you don't want to do it too much. So again, like I said, you want to be open, but you cannot say everything. So you're not going to say, I'm doing communication, I'm doing this, and I'm fixing also bikes. You know, those little things you want to go say not too much, so people are going to be very interesting about yourself and do that. So these are the important, and then you see in the end of this one, I wrote stuff about myself, and then I did a thing to LinkedIn, and then I said something for Twitter, and then I say did something for my website or something like this. Maybe I should have put it directly to Behance, and then you can see it goes directly into my LinkedIn portfolio. And in the LinkedIn portfolio, I can see here, I do have a lot of stuff in LinkedIn and things about me as well. But look what I'm just doing. I'm putting the articles and everything about myself also in LinkedIn. So basically you're getting a cohesive round tripping, because you never know where the employees are going to look for. So that's why when you ask me, somebody asked me what's the difference between them, you want to be in few places because you never know. You want to send a link to an employer. You want to go in and be very, like on LinkedIn, see here I have like stuff about LinkedIn. I have even a video about myself. I do have some of my articles about here and all kind of stuff too. So I'm trying to promote my LinkedIn profile as well while I'm doing it. So what do you need for that? For that you need some skills to go in and create some stuff either in Photoshop or in Illustrator, or go in and work with your images themselves. I'm going to go back to it a little bit to look at the portfolio, but I want to go first to Photoshop. And some of you know some Photoshop, but I prepare some stuff that's very, very easy. And if you're going to need me to explain to you what to do, I'm going to go in over it and explain. So if you have my images, I put it under creating a portfolio. It's a link. It's a bit.ly link. Okay, that's the thing that I forgot to put in there. But basically this one is, I don't think it's HTTP. Oh yeah, it's HTTP bit.ly creating a portfolio. So that's where I have some of my images, and I have that on my Dropbox for you if you want to go and load it. If you don't want to load it, we can go in and look. We can look at InDesign, we can look a little bit and working in Photoshop, and working also in Illustrator if we have time. A lot of these places nowadays, I don't know if you have it, but they have also mock-up portfolio pieces for free. Where do you get them? You would get them under the Creative Cloud if you go there. And you can go into the Creative Cloud, you can go to Adobe Stock. Some of them are going to be free, and some of them you can get inspiration how they look and then create them. I brought you some stuff here. So you see here, like this is some of the work I was working here, that's mine. But I'm going to go into File and Open. And I'm going to go to the side in the area that says Create Your Portfolio. And then I have a PDF there. I have like some other stuff that you work with Photoshop in it. And then let's say I'm going to go back here to an area here. And then let's say which one I wanted to go in. Oh, not this one. Let's say I'm just going to go in, not this one, of course. I'm going to open all of them as long as not have the right one. Okay, that's not the one. That's not the banner. Where is it? Oh, creating, maybe it's this one. Okay, this one, you see it says creating a logo for a company. So you might have a logo already. But you see here, I opened it and I just put a logo. It's not a beautiful logo. It's something that I do in 2 seconds in Photoshop just to have something, right? And then the logo name is Nature and Trees. That's the company you're working for. And then I am going to click and open the 3 of them. And you can see this is the logo that I have, and this one is a bag. So this one is a template. And you feel free to take it, because in this case you're showing the logo. Maybe you're working for a company that has nature stuff, and then you want to show later the t-shirt. I don't have a t-shirt here, but you want to show the shopping bag, the t-shirt, the merchandise, whatever you're gonna have. In this case, I do have a sample of bags. Can you change that? Of course you can. And this is what I want you to look. And I have here one just with a sample. Do you see this one? I put the logo in there. Okay, like you see that. And then this logo, if I go into it, I can go back here and move it around, change it, rotate it, do a double logo and things like this. So how do we work with it? I'm just gonna go to one without anything. And what I want you to open is the layers panel. In the layers panel, what you see here, you have groups. So when you purchase a template, or you create a template, or you take from somebody a template, or you hire somebody to do a template, these templates were free, so you can use it for anything that you want. It's yours if you need them. You can see here I have a background. So this is just the color of the background if you want to go in and change just the background. What does it mean? You want to do a presentation for the client, put that maybe on Behance, or even later on put part of it in Spark, but you really, what you want to do is you want to do a different background. This background, maybe it's boring. How would you do that in Photoshop? And this is why we created the class, how to take the templates after you have the inspiration and work. So if I click over here on the background color, you can see I click on the background color. I can double click on it and I can click on any color. Do you see that? And I can decide that I want to make the background with a different color. What if you said, I don't know which colors I'm going to use yet? I will probably duplicate it and give myself some options. How would you duplicate that? You can go to the flyout menu and duplicate the layer, or have the shortcut, which is Command or Control J, will duplicate. So I can say color 1, color 2, color 3 to myself and double click here and just go back here and say, okay, this one will stay white. So I can go in and say, maybe I'll choose that and maybe I'll choose that, depending, and then later on I'll figure it out. Does that make sense? I might even go in and group them and say color background. So if I want to go back and select these two, I'm going to do Command G, and then I can call it background color. So already I know that in this area, I have a hidden area to go in and play with the color. So what else do you have here? It's separated in a nice way. You see I have one bag, another bag, and this bag. So I'm going to go in and look at the black paper bag. And then it was black, but on inside there is another black in it. And then there is a place here that tells you this is the entire bag. This is the other drop shadow of the bag, but do you see a place here that says place your image? Do you see that? What is this symbol? This is a symbol to a smart object. Does everybody know what a smart object is? If you don't, I will explain to you in a minute after we're doing the first one. Do you guys know what a smart object is? It's okay not to know. That's fine. So now what I'm doing, before doing anything, what I want you to go in and then go back. You see here, you have your nature, and over here, I can go even and place it. So if it says it's a smart object, what it tells you that somebody prepared an area that's really empty, but you can double click on it and put the stuff in there, and if you save, you get it. And we're going to talk in a minute about smart object, because for you guys, for presentation, the smart object is going to be amazing. Double click on it. It's going to tell you choose the content and then save. Look what I have here. There is a place that tells you your image, place your image here. Can be a whole image, can be part image. What are we doing now? Just a logo. I can even draw something here if I don't want to. So when I'm going to go back here, I'm going to go File and Place, or I basically can go and drag and drop this guy inside this area. So why am I dragging and dropping and not going to copy it? Because smart objects are not being copied. But I don't think I even can drag and drop it because it's arranged in 2 areas. So I'm going to go back here and do File, and here I can go in and place. I can place embedded and I can place linked. What does it mean? And that's what we're gonna write. That's with smart object. If you place embedded, and we're gonna place my wonderful logo in a minute, and then you're gonna need to change it because the company you work with telling you we changed the logo. It's gonna be only on this bag. You have to go back, and if it's gonna be in a bunch of other bags, you're gonna have to change one of each one. But look what I'm doing. I'm gonna go to File and Place Linked. Do you see that? I'm gonna go back to the Nature and Trees, and I'm gonna click Place. And you see I placed it over here. I click OK, and I'm gonna turn off the type that says Place Image here. And I'm gonna do one save, Command or Control S. Now I'm gonna go back to my logo, the bag. Look what I have here. I have my beautiful logo. Yay, we did one thing, right? And remember, it's placed linked, right? I'm gonna explain to you in a minute more stuff about Smart Object, but when you open Smart Object, you can change them somewhere else behind the scenes. And that's how all the template has Smart Objects. So I'm gonna go in and close that, and I'm gonna go into this one. And I'm gonna go the same thing. Do you see what you have here? Again, you have a Smart Object. Double click on it. Do File, Place Linked, and let's place this one. Click OK, and then turn off that. One save, Command or Control S. And I'm gonna go back to check it out. Yay, I have another one here. Looking kind of cool. Now I'm gonna go into the third one. Double click. Again, File and Place Linked. Placing it again. And then say OK. Turn it off and save. And now I'm going to my presentation here. And I'm going to check the presentation here, and I can see this image is here. It looks a little, the kind of like the green looks a little bit different, right? But look at that. I have that. I can do File, Save As. I'm ready, and then I might put a title here for the client and then say, and that could be also going to Behance later. You're just going to need to do in Behance. In the end, you have to make it as a PNG or JPEG. But you save it for yourself as part of the project, right? Now you do not like this logo. Or I told you, you got to be kidding me. I don't want it green. I want the nature to be red. And I want the leaf to be blue. If you put it in a lot of places already and just placed it embedded, you're gonna need to go to each one or relink it, replace it one by one. But because I did that linked, look what I can do. I'm gonna go just to the first one, and I'm gonna double click. And I do have, look what I have here. I have here the nature and things here. You see, that's the link. I'm gonna go back here to my thumbnail and double click again. And look what it opens for me. It opens for me the logo that I made, you just saw before. I'm gonna zoom into it. And of course you need to know a little bit of Photoshop here. So if I don't wanna say nature and trees, I'm gonna go in and change the type, right? I'm gonna call it different. But you see it says color overlay. Just click on that. It's different color, but I'm just gonna double click on color overlay and maybe go and make that red. and click OK. So I just did that. The other one, I don't want to change anything. It's all good. I'm going to do save. One save. And then I am going to go into bag with logos. Oh, that's not the one. Which one is it? It should have done save. Where is it? And I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to go, okay, I have to save it a few times. I have to save it one time here. And then I have to go back here and save it to the logo that I have here. And then I'm going to save it. Okay, now it saved it. I didn't probably save it. And then I'm going to go back here and save that. And then I'm going to go back here, and you see it did this one. It didn't do this guy because, oh, I know why. Because I did it linked, but whoever did the logo itself, they made that into not linked. So you see over here, I can go and change it. That's why I didn't go in there. I didn't pay attention that these guys were regular stuff, so it's not linked. So I can go into my property panel, which I'm going to find it over here. And now I'm going to explain to you again how I'm going to work with it and say convert to link. If I'm converting it to link, I can go back here and then I am going to find the logo that I have. And I'm going to click and save that. And then it is going to go and be linked. And I have to go to each one of them now. And now it's going to be a better one. So I'm going to go back here. And then I am going to link it. Does that make sense? So let me explain to you what happened here. So we're going to prepare it ahead of time. What is a smart object and why is it working like this? I want you to go to File and Open. And go back to my creating logos or create a portfolio. And there is a place that says linked smart object. Do you see that? Double click on it. And go in and open Flower PSD. Do you see that? And then go in and shift click on Flower 3 PSD and 4 and 5. And what you see over here now, I have 4 files. Maybe that's going to be a presentation about your project, and it's one by one. One thing, what if you wanted to go in and create that and make it into artboards? You want to do one PDF to show everybody next to each other, not one by one. So you want to go in here and go to your artboard tool. Do you see the artboard tool? And then I'm just going to go in and click on the artboard tool. And if it says artboard 1, I'm going to double click on the word artboard 1, and you want to click on it on the layers panel in Photoshop, and then call it, let's say, page 1. Now I want to make that, I want to go on this one, and I want to go and place linked. A smart object that's going to be place linked. So I'm going to do File and Place Linked. And I'm going to go to this guy with the tree, and I'm going to put it here. I want you to look at your layers panel, and you can see that your smart objects are linked. You see the link next to it. There's 2 kinds of smart object, linked one and not linked. Now I'm just going to close that. And then I'm going to duplicate it. How would I duplicate it? I'm going to go to the artboard tool. You see the plus sign here? Hold on the Option or Alt key and duplicate. And duplicate, and duplicate, and duplicate. What I have here is basically, I have 4 artboards right now. Could be a presentation for you about a product that you're presenting to your client. And later on, you might put it on your Behance area. I am not going to change the artwork, but I'm going to relate only to the logo right now. They are placed linked, so look what I'm doing. I'm going to go to the layer, and I'm just going to go to each one of them. Doesn't matter which one. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom one. Double click, and I'm going to get the logo. Now I'm going to go and click it to color overlay, and then I am going to go into the shape and double click on the shape and make the shape red. I just flip-flopped it. And all what I do is save. One save. Now I am going to go to my flower with my artboards. And look what happened. Look what happened to my logos. Do you see that? They all changed. If I placed it embedded, it's one at a time you're going to have to change it. It's basically like linking in Illustrator and in Photoshop, right? And in InDesign. But I want to send it to now to the client to check it out. I can name my artboards. What can I do with it now? First of all, I first can go back here, and then I can go and export it to my client. But before saving it as a Photoshop file, I will go in, let's say I'm going to do File and Save As, and then I'm going to save that as my artboards over here. And I'm going to call that Presentation with a logo. And I'm going to click Save. I saved it one time. If I am sending it to you now, what are you not going to get? You're not going to get the artwork, the logo, because I didn't tell the machine to take it. So what you need to do now is File and Package. Do you see that? And then you want to go back and put it whatever you want, and then click Choose. And then now if I go to my desktop and I'm going to go back here, you can go in that says Presentation with a logo folder. Do you see that? And this is what your client is going to get. The presentation and the link to it. Does that make sense? What went wrong with the one with my bag? Whoever prepared it not linked. So it's also a good way to learn when things are not linked. So you can see that's why when I went back to my window and I wanted to go back here, bags with logo, look which logo changed. Only the two logos that were linked. The other one that's not linked did not change. Does that make sense? You see, it's already linked here. I changed it one time. In another file, it's linked it for me. This one is not changing. Why not? Because this logo was placed embedded. So when do you do this and when do you do that? If you have one file only and when you place some stuff into it, you want to place it maybe embedded. But if you have like a whole thing like this, maybe you want to do it linked. But now I'm going to go back here to my image that I just did that. I want to send it to my client. You can go into File and Export, and look what you can do here. You can do artboards to files. So each artboard can go into a file and somebody can do. And also you can go in and say artboards to PDF. So this is the first time that you can go do a multi-PDF from something in Photoshop. If you did the ACA exam in Photoshop, you probably were not tested on artboards because they were not there in 2014. They're new. Whoever's going to do the test in the fall going to be tested on that, because the new test in the fall is going to be 2018. So you're going to get more information. So I'm going to do artboard to PDF. It's going to ask you where do you want to put it. I can go in and browse, and I can say I want to put it somewhere here, and go in and say new folder, and then say portfolio, and choose. And then I'm gonna go and open that. Another thing they're asking you, should I include the overlapping area or just the output content? Do you wanna go and include background in export, multi-page document, one document also, so you have to pay attention to that. And what if you wanna just upload that as one page only, include ICC profile, include the output names. I didn't name it, so it's going to do one by one. But what if the client really wants to see the name? You can include the name of the outboard, and it's asking you what kind of stuff and what kind of even font do you want to use and things like this. I'm just going to put it for fun so we can see that. And I'm going to go and run. See, it's just doing it. And then, okay, and now I'm just going to go back here and find the stuff that I did, and then I am going to go back here, and then I think I called it Portfolio, and it's over here, and look what I have. I have a PDF, and then if I go and do that, I have that. See, the name is not really cool because I wrote just page one, but I could have named it different kind of situation, different kind of product, but you see what you can get directly with from Photoshop, and that's going to be part of your portfolio piece. Does that make sense? Do you need me to explain to you more stuff about smart objects and how to work with them? Yes? No? Or you think it's too complicated? Is it cool? Yeah, good. So I'm going to go back to Photoshop right now. And now what else do I have? I'm going to right click on that to close everything. I'm not going to save these little guys over here, and look at this, how nice you have everything over here. And then I'm going to do File and Open, and I'm going to go back to my portfolio here, and I can go back here to a banner. And look at that. This one is also, but that's a little different. Look at this. This is really looking at the area, but if I zoom into it, look what I have. That could be another thing that you might want to do when you create your portfolio. You can go, it's okay. I'm gonna have the recording for it if you guys gonna need that. And then I am going to go back here and look what I have here. I have a layer, and in the layers panel, what I have is bunch of stuff, and you see I have the one banner, I have another banner, and I have another banner, and then I have these places that you say put the logo here, put the logo here, put images in every area that you want. This is cool also because they're giving you also a size of the stuff that you have. So we can basically go into the first one, and then each area here, you can see I have like different kind of areas here, and then you have like the area that you have. So I'm just gonna go in to banner 300 to 50. That's it. See, that's an artboard already. And if I don't want to get confused, I might go into the other banner and basically going to go, this one is the one I want to work with, and I'm just going to go and turn off the other ones. I just want to work with this one. And then I can zoom in. And by the way, you can work one by one, because later on, and you can combine them as a JPEG and then place them together. You can also place them later in maybe Illustrator side by side and do it for your portfolio, or you can place them also in design. Does that make sense? So now what do I have? I'm gonna go in and have the company that we have here. So here is the company name. It's basically asking you to go into your company and just do the name of the company. So let's say we're gonna call it Food and Flowers. And then I'm going to highlight that, and you can see at the moment it's a certain kind of font. You do not have to use this font. You can use any font that you want. I can go in and make that a little smaller, and then if I want to go back here and put another name here, I can. If I don't have to. And then over here, establish here, I don't need to do that. You can do your own tagline. So what does it mean in your tagline? I can go back here and say serving since 2018. Well, not a very new company, right? And then I can go back here and just move it. I can change it to a different color if I want. And then I can go back here, see I change a different color. And I can go and bring it here. So I'm gonna go and do anything that I have here. Here I have the images. All the images that you have here, these are images that you're gonna go back here and decide to put the text, the bottom, and everything that you're gonna go in and bring the image. So if you say put the image here, do you see that? It is a smart object, but it's not a linked smart object. So maybe I don't need a linked smart object. So I'm gonna double click and look at the small image that I have. I wanna put a small image there. So I'm gonna do file and place, or I can even copy and paste now. If I don't worry about it, I can copy and place, but I'm gonna do place embedded. And here I have some images. And the reason I called it food and flowers, because I knew I had flowers images, right? And I'm just gonna go back here and I'm just gonna go and place. And then it's not the correct aspect ratio here, but you know what? I'm not gonna worry about it right now. I'm just gonna click here and pretend that it's here, and this is your placeholder. And I'm gonna do save. And then I'm just gonna go back here and you can see I have it here. So I can go to each area and put the photos here one by one. Or if I decided, I might just go and do one. So you see, this is the image that you have and the image in the bottom, and this is the one. I'm gonna double click here, and then I might go file and place embedded, and then I'm just gonna go to another one. Of course, another thing that you have to take into consideration is the aspect ratio of your image and the resolution of your template. Because if the aspect ratio is not the correct one and the resolution is not the correct one, it's gonna look like that, which is not good. And then I can go back here and put it over here, and you see I'm starting to put some stuff here. Maybe I don't have another photo here, so I don't want to go and put a photo here, but I want to go back here and put some tagline, and maybe the tagline was this color here. So I'm just gonna go in here and put this guy here. So I decided not to put the image here, and this is how my banner is going to look. And of course here I can go back here and do different kind of stuff, and these are options. I want to go back here and decide to talk about it a little bit, so you can say anything about it, about your company. You can also go back to type and say paste Lauren Epsom. So that's going to paste a bunch of stuff for you if you want. If I don't want to, I'm not going to do that. Or I can just go in and say the company is serving shift return food and flowers. And then over here you can just go in and put anything here. Can be another thing, maybe a social media, or maybe colas, or whatever you want. And if you don't want that, you don't have to do this one at all, and then it's not going to be here, and that's going to look like that. So it's really up to you how you're going to go in. Maybe you want to write more stuff, maybe you want to put more stuff in it, but that's going to be a beginning of your stuff. And I can go and put some other stuff to it as well. All the way down, I do have background options. In this case, I have one background, and it has a texture to it. But now I can go in and I have a different kind of texture. So I can go in, I have a marble texture, and I have a leather texture, and I have another texture here, and look at that. So I can maybe do stuff that looks like this, and then I'm gonna need to change the typeface if I have that. Does that make sense? So basically you can go in and change the stuff. All of this stuff that you have here, you can go back here and just place different kind of images in here. You don't even need to make it as a smart object, or you place it and then place it as a smart object. Does that make sense? And you just have a texture. So if I wanted to go in and put a texture on it, I might go in and do file and place, maybe place embedded, find a place that I have maybe some textures. So maybe I have some textures over here. Oh, I have the food here. I don't have any other textures, but if I had any kind of textures, I can do it. But also look what I can do too. I can also go into this area, go all the way up, down to my adjustment layers, and then I can go back here and create a pattern to it. And then that could be, some of the patterns are ugly, but maybe you have something that it's really nice, and that's going to be the background of your portfolio. And it's very easy to find different one and click OK, and you see it just links to that. Does that make sense? So I created a drop shadow, a smart object and created. Does that make sense here? So that's another thing. So let's say I wanted to make it in a nicer one, not this, like this. I want to put that to make it part of my portfolio to whatever I have. I am going to go in and I can go to just this one and then can go in and do file and export, and I can export the artboard into a file. I can do a screenshot too, but I can go export to it, and then I'm gonna go back here to go and browse, and I'm gonna go back here to my portfolio again, and then I'm gonna open that, and in this case I want to go in and maybe do that as a JPEG or a PNG 24. I don't remember which one. I think Behance takes PNG and JPEGs as well, and that's why I wanted to do that. And then I'm going to go back here and you can see different export. I wanted to have transparency, not transparency, not include the artboard name, and then I'm going to go and run. So now I'm going to go and check it out, and then basically this is what I have. I have a PNG ready for me to put either in my portfolio in Behance, or to start having a, let's say, a Spark presentation and then put stuff in it. Does that make sense? So if I finished all of them, I could have exported all of them to files as JPEG only. And that's what I would do when I start preparing. So the whole idea of creating this class is showing you Behance, but it's a lot of work to create your images. That's the one that takes time to do that. So either you can use it with Photoshop, or you can use it also with InDesign and Illustrator. What if you want to use it just with Photoshop? File and New. I'm going to go and look what I have here. These are some of the templates that you just saw. I am going to go into the glass bottom, or maybe I want to do a mobile. Maybe how many people, some people said that they're working on mobile stuff, they're working on UI kits, they're working on video and film, and look at that. You basically can go in and have different corporate graphic as a template. Try to see if you guys have it. I want to make sure you have it as part of the thing. Go File New and see if you have the templates. I want to make sure you guys have, because some clouds do not have the templates. It's only in 2018 you have all these great templates.
Mine are just showing up as this.
Okay, then if not, I'm going to show you how to do that. If you don't have. Okay. So go in, out of it, close, and try again. File and New. And then go. Oh, they don't show up yet. Okay, let's just do create, because sometimes you have to do it a few times till they show up, or might have that you guys don't have the templates yet. Anybody else do not have the templates? When you're looking at that?
Yeah.
Do you have the templates?
No.
No. So, you have? No. Yeah? Oh, you have it? That's so cool. Yay. What version do you have?
I think 2017.
You have 2017 too, and you don't have it. And you have it. Whoa. So close the Photoshop and start again. Sometimes it takes a while to get it. It's a good news, and you have you got the Creative Cloud from here, right? Because I wanted the reason I'm checking to see where did you get the Creative Cloud from. If one of us is getting it, means that you should have them. This is so weird. Some have it, some don't. This is so weird. And you closed it again, and then just do create. Okay, do another time. You probably don't have it. I have to check it out. This is so weird. And you have it, right? And you got it from here, the installment. So this is something I need to check with Erica, why some people have it or not. But by default, you should have some template to start your portfolio.
I think there were many people don't have it, like our another Photoshop class here. Only the instructor has it.
Yeah, that's why I know, because only Rick had it, right? Yeah, but she has it, and then you installed it from here, right? So this is something to look at. But if you don't have it, you should look online to see that. So see here, all of them are mock-ups and all of them are free. So you should do it. Another thing is go to your Creative Cloud and go to your stock. Do you have something that says get free Adobe stock?
Yeah.
Try to find, see I said I wrote Photoshop templates or something. And I went to go and I tried to go in and see if I can get free Photoshop templates. And this is what I got now, which I didn't like. That's what I got here. This is really not what I had in mind over here. But basically, there's other places that you can get the free Photoshop template as well. One of the places is, believe it or not, is Behance. In Behance, once you go there, there's some other people that are going to go in and click on that and just say free portfolio templates. Templates. And you see over here, you can get different portfolio templates also here. And then you can download the stuff, and then you can go in. So you have stuff for portfolio, you have stuff for mockup over here, free PSD mockup. And then you can go back here and download it. I think they're giving you an extraction, and then download the free mockup. I'm just gonna go download that, and now you can start working with it. You're probably gonna ask you to click here and click there and just sign in for something and put the stuff here, but basically you are gonna go in and get it, and let's say if you went there, but they probably want you to do that, and then you probably want to sign in, then they're gonna bug you for other stuff, but it is basically free of charge. Can you create your own stuff in Photoshop or in Illustrator? Yes, you can. So what you do is, see, click on the button, click add. Oh, okay, I don't want to do that right now. But what if you wanted to start and creating something just in Photoshop, right? You can go in to do File and New, and in the File New, you can go in, let's say, to a print document or Art and Illustrator document, and go into the amount of pixels that you have and the amount of resolution that you have, and then you have advanced options over here, and then go back here and just do create. So you can start the whole process here with the placeholder that we saw before. Does that make sense? So if I wanted to go in, let's say background, right? I'm going to go in to my rectangle tool, and I'm going to click and drag and create a rectangle. And you see, and I'm going to call it background 1. So I did one. Now I'm going to click on that and do Control or Command J to do another one. And in the new one, I'm going to just double click and create another one. How can I just change the colors? Because I used a vector square. When you use a vector square, you can change it at any time. Does that make sense? And I can go back here to the two of them, group it, and go in and call that background. That's it. Now I can go back and start doing something. So I am going to go in and do a new layer. And then once I'm going to go in the new layer, I am going to go in and just going to do, like, call it tagline. And then I'm just going to go to this tagline, and then I'm going to go to layer and smart object and create and convert to smart object. So there's nothing in here yet, but now I can go in and do stuff. So I'm going to double click on it, and this is what I get. So in this tagline, I can go back here and go and click and drag and create something and say welcome. It's very big. So I'm going to go back here and make something like that. And welcome to whatever. Oh, just welcome. And then I'm going to go back here and just do a color and click OK. And then I'm just going to save. And then I'm going to go back to the area. And you see I have the tagline. I can even name it, change text here or do that. How would I name it? It's a smart object. So as soon as a smart object, you can double click at any time here. You can highlight that. You can do anything that you want. You can go in and change the text and do anything that you want. Click OK, save, and go back to the image that you have. Does that make sense? And now I can continue on building the stuff. So I can go in to create, let's say, again, I want to go in and create something that look like this. And this one could be the rectangle for the tag, but this rectangle could be any other color, right? And then now I'm just going to go in, I'm going to call it side column. And now I can go back here to an area and I can go in and place an image. So I can go in right away and make an image and then change it or do it just for position only. So if I'm going to go into file and I'm going to say, let's say even place linked in this case, I'm going to go back here to my Create Your Portfolio, and in the advertising, I know I have images, and here I have the food images. And then I'm just going to go back here and just put it somewhere like that, or make it a little bit bigger to this side, because I want it to go from side to side. And then maybe put it here and enter. And then I might call it for position only image. In this case, if I do more artboards, it's linked. So if I do the same images, it will be that. If not, you don't want to link it. So it's up to you if it's linked or not linked. If I'm going to go back here to the tagline, I'm going to go in and move that over here. And maybe I can go in also to a text frame, and then maybe go to type and do the Lorem Ipsum, and I'm going to go select all and make that a lot smaller. And then make that maybe myriad or maybe something else. So I'm going to go and put it just text myriad. And then I'm just going to select that. I might make it into a different color. And then once again, just do that. So maybe it doesn't want to open the whole thing. So I'm just going to copy it and shift and place. Oops. Copy. Oh, it doesn't want to do that. Oh, I have it one on top of each other, and I'm going to save. So basically, if I'm going to go back to the area here, I can see I have the tagline. I didn't put it in the right position, but that would happen when you go in and you don't, I mean, you have it in a smart object. You have to figure out where the position is. So I might go back again, and then I can go into this and then put it here. Does that make sense? So that's going to be something like that, and then save. So that can be also a template for me. So if you want to, all the stuff that you're going to put later in Behance are going to look something like that. It's going to be a story about you here, the image here, and another tagline over here. You can create few of them. You can decide if you want to have your image linked or not. Maybe in this case you don't want to even have it linked. So I'm just going to go back here to the area and I'm going to save it, but I'm going to go into my properties panel, and in this case I really don't want it to have it. I want to have it embedded. Why? Because if I am going to my artboard right now and I finished my template, and that's going to be like one artboard already, and then I'm going to go to my alt key and do another one and another one and another one. In each area of my artboard, I basically can go in now, because it's not linked. I can just go in, double click here, and then do file and place, and then I'm going to go in and place this one, and then enter, and then save, and then click OK, and then go back here to this area. Oh, because I placed the first one link, it's reading the link anyway, but I'm just gonna go for some. Oh no, it's not. See, I have this one still having it linked. Oh, okay, this one has to go back here. I'm gonna change the background, and this one has to be basically not linked, and I'm gonna go back here, and it's good, and I'm saving it, and I have to save it and save it again because I created it. That's why it tells me. So I've kind of like, I have to make a decision in the beginning if it's linked or not linked, and that's going to be a little bit different. Yes. The duplicate the artboard. You have to go to your artboard tool, and then hold down, click with the artboard tool, basically click on the artboard itself, and then hold down the Option or Alt key and duplicate. Does that make sense? So you can actually create your own images and then take that into your Behance to start creating the portfolio. Do you guys have any questions? The people that stayed. Do you think it helps? Do you have a lot of work to do? Yes, that's the main thing, and this is why it's so good to take all the classes here, because you can see the software that you're using is basically, it's Photoshop or Illustrator that you're going to use to put the images, to put the text, to create a template with it. You can also create a template with InDesign. So I don't know if you guys want to look at InDesign for a minute, but basically InDesign here, if I go File, New, and New Document, I don't think it will give you a lot of templates here. Oh yes, it did. Hey, you see here I have a template over here. You guys do not have this template, but basically it's a free template. I can go in and see the preview, and basically I can go back here and put some stuff in there. How cool is that? So all of them can be something that you're going to start working for your infographics and everything. And each one of them, because it's an InDesign, and InDesign doesn't do to JPEG to it, you just do screenshots for it, because Behance does not take PDFs yet. Is taking videos already, so you can put a video from it. Spark doesn't take PDF either. So it will take not even Photoshop file, I think JPEGs and things like this. That's another tool. Another tool that you want to do, and we're not going to do it here, but another tool that I want you to look at it, start looking at Adobe XDCC. This will help you prototype for the web, to create a prototype of a web before doing your website. Some of you probably doing Wix and all the others, but this one you can go in and open and start prototyping your web in a very easy way. You can bring stuff from Illustrator, you can go bring stuff from Photoshop. So I can go into one of my Photoshop files here, and I can go in, let's say if I have that, select all and copy. And if I go into, let's say, my XD, okay, that was very big, that's okay, and then paste. Oh, he didn't want to do it because it was too big. He told me that, I didn't listen. I think this is a very big image. Yeah, whoa. Don't want to do such big images like this, but I'm gonna go back here and paste. You see here, I can paste it directly and pretend I did it the right way and the right size. This is not the right aspect ratio, but I can go in. I already can start putting it over here, and I'm prototyping something for the web here. I can call it splash screen. And that could be a beginning of your tool that you want. You can go back to any of your tools here. It's so simple to work. You can go back here and just do like a button. You can make the button really small. You can go in and fill the button with something. You can later on go in and type something and say click here. And then you can go back here to the button itself and then make that, let's say, 30. And then you can just go in and move that and put it here, and you can make it a little bit bigger and things like this. So you can see I have click here. This button maybe is too big, so I make it a little smaller. I can click on that and I can make the feel a little bit different. Maybe I'm gonna make it even white. You can go in and make that different kind of fonts, ultra, bold, and everything. So you can see the two of them together. I'm just starting to prototype something. So that could be another thing that you might go in and work. You can also go in and make that as a symbol, and then you can go in and make it as a grid, and then change every stuff there, and already you have a prototype for a website. Once you do the prototype, you can start click and linking it and show the stuff that you have. This one has a nice tutorial online. I have also, I think, a tutorial from last semester that I did XD class here. So you might want to go in and look at it. You can start that, because basically what I'm going to do is, if I wanted to duplicate and do anything like that, I can go in and see it's with artboards. And then I can go in and hold down the option key and then create another one. And then go back to zoom out to this one, and basically another one, and I can do another one. And you can go in and change the image and change the clicking and start prototyping them. So if I want to go back to this image, I can go in and, let's say, I'm going to make it like transparent, so it's going to look a little bit different, and I'm going to change it something like that, so it looks like pretend different. If I want to start going in, and I'm going to go in and move that, and I can name it like screen 1 or screen 2 or whatever it is. If I want to go in and start, I keep doing the artboards, if I want to go and start prototyping it, I can go to a prototype mode. And here what I can do is, let's say I'm selecting that and click, and I'm going to go in and say I want you to go in and go slide down. And you can go back to this one, and I want to go back here, and then maybe I'm going to do slide up. And then if I wanted to do this one, I mean, if I had another screen, it's okay, but let's say slide down, and then I'm going to go back here and do slide up. Just did something very, very simple right now. Now you can go back here. You can send somebody a link and publish the prototype. You can go back here and click here, and you see it's going here. Click here is going up. Click here is going down. It's already prototyped. And then while I'm prototyping it, I can also click here. And while I'm doing it, it is going to create for me a movie. And then when I click on that to finish the movie, oh, I should have done the stop. It will go in and do an MP4 for me. And if I go and do a save, I basically can go into my desktop and then find that. It doesn't do my voice, but if I send it to somebody, they can see what to prototype already. Believe it or not, I needed to do an immediate one about my artwork one day, and I pretended that I do a website, and I sent somebody the link, and they thought it was a complete website because they can click, click, click. They cannot download anything, you know. It doesn't have a code to it, but basically it has the prototyping. So the tools you have to look for, it's Illustrator and InDesign to create mock-ups, and then maybe XD to create the prototyping that you have, and maybe also Adobe Spark if you feel like working with it to create the presentation. And then upload your portfolio basically to Behance, because I think that's going to be the place that you're going to see the most traffic. Does that make sense? Questions? Yeah.
I noticed Adobe also has Adobe Portfolio.
Yeah.
Is that similar? Or
Yeah, the Adobe Portfolio is part of Behance.
Oh,
So whatever you put inside there, that's the Adobe Portfolio. Yeah.
because it has different like icons.
Yeah. When you go into the Adobe Portfolio over here, you're clicking. So if you have a Behance already, you can ship in the stuff from Behance directly to it. Or if not, you can do it yourself. So that's kind of like the one. When you click on Behance, you can click on your portfolio also. So it's kind of part of it, but can be not part of it. And this is the one that you can create your own URL.
And that's like a personal website.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's a good one. It is, they have templates there. They're not that easy to use. They give you like 6, 7 app templates. That's it. But you know what? It's not bad. You can go in, yeah. So that's, I think I went to it, like, remember I showed you my portfolio, which didn't look so good? That was my Adobe Portfolio. That's the one. See, this is says http myportfolio.com, whatever it is. I mean, I didn't create my own URL, a different one yet, because I didn't finish it yet. But you can see here, this is my Adobe Portfolio.
So which one do you recommend starting with?
I recommend to start putting your stuff that you do on Behance, to start looking at it, and then from that start building your portfolio. Yeah, because that's it. And then each one of them, I didn't even do that. Oh, it did. I said I didn't do it. I did. Oh, it does go to my Instagram. I didn't even realize I did that. Okay, let's see if it goes to my LinkedIn. Yes, it does. Whoa. Let's see if it goes to Behance. Yes, it does. Oh, I'm more happy than I was. And it goes to my Twitter even. So you see, maybe I did some stuff that I didn't know I did. I didn't choose the template that I wanted, so I didn't finish it yet. But you can see I'm playing with it for so long, but every time I'm sitting to do my own thing, I get a huge job to finish, and then that's it. So do it as long as you're a student and you don't have big jobs, because once you start working, I'm telling you, I have 0 time for myself. So start doing the stuff here. I'm really excited to see that. Ooh, cool. And then the project, and then each art goes in here. That's cool. And then you can go back to the artwork. See, you can just do different kind of slideshows. So this is on the portfolio, but it was retrieved from Behance. Some people just have the portfolio. Some people like to have Behance too. I like to have both of them. So it's really your decision. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And before I had a WordPress website. It's like really old-fashioned.
Yeah.
website.
Well, WordPress, a lot of people using it. It's just like, they said it's more complicated to use. This is so easy to use. It's user-friendly. And a lot of people go to Behance. And if you go to Behance, they go directly to your portfolio. So it's something that. And another thing I do also, when I just send, like, let's say, my email, A lot of time, what I do in the end of my email, let's say, okay, well, whatever it is, in if I can do the email, and bunch of the email that I do is I put my portfolio, I put the LinkedIn, I put links on my signature. So when I send somebody an email, they can. So, but I'm not doing a big one. I mean, let's say if I have that. I can go in actually to my preferences. Okay, see here all the way down. I have my phone number, which I think I should take it out. But you can see here I have my portfolio over here. I have a little image here, and I have another place that says about me. I am not even using it so much, but this is another place that you can go in. You start it for free, and it's something about you and thing that you're doing, and then you can link it to all kind of stuff and put stuff in there. It's not even a portfolio. I mean, maybe if you pay, it is a kind of a portfolio. I just took the one for free. So if somebody wants to see something immediate, I have that. Does that make sense? So you have a lot of options. The main thing that you guys need to do is start working on your assets. That's what has to be different. The assets. I mean, the tools are amazing, but if you don't have the nice assets, the tools are not going to help. Does that make sense? So highly recommend either if you take classes, we have a lot of videos online how to use it. You can also send me an email if you need some help. I helped one of the girls from last semester from the Illustrator class. She sent me her logo, and together we fixed it. So I didn't fix it for her. I gave her suggestions. I said, you can do this, 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 or that, and I won't do this, 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 and that. But could be that you don't like what I'm suggesting. So this is the stuff you have to take into consideration. Does that make sense? Other questions? You good? So I don't know if I need to post it or not, but I will